So keyboard and mouse versus controller. Which one is better on console? Let's look at it. With all the new console updates allowing mouse and keyboard to connect to the system now, and it's up to the designer of the games to decide if they will allow you to use mouse and keyboard in that particular game. So we're seeing a couple games like Fortnite actually allowing it. First-person shooters is where it is supposed to matter the most. So now they sell these devices. This device actually takes your controller and converts it to mouse and keyboard. I was just curious, so I brought one in to see exactly how it works. I've never been a PC player, so I've never played mouse and keyboard before, but let's see how it works. I got it all hooked up now. Here's the device right here. So I have both my the mouse and keyboard plugged into it, and the controller plugged into it, and then the other end goes into the console. So it is on here. It is working. This system does work. The way it's set up though is a little bit weird. Basically what it's doing is it is emulating what the controller does. So it's not nearly as smooth from what I'm being told anyway. Like I said, I've never been a mouse and keyboard person, so I have played around with this a little bit. Let's see if we can load up I'm just putting in Apex here and show you a little bit of it. You can kind of see both now. So I'm just going to do the training. Let's see here, why? That's not it. That's not it either. See, this is one of the really confusing things about this, is what buttons are what. And I think I just went into a regular game, and this is going to be awful. Oh no, okay, so here's the training. You can see how sensitive it is. It's very sensitive. So the mouse controls the left stick, the right stick, I don't know. I'll get back to you on that one. Okay, so, I'm sorry, the right stick. And then you got W, A, S, and D are the directional. Oh, Tommy wants to talk to me. Okay.
I don't know why he called myself.
Hello.
A few moments later. One.
All right. So B for crouch, A for jump, and then hold down the left stick. I don't remember which is hold down the left stick. That's changing the weapons.
If you need my help or if you need tools or anything, let me know, because I brought my truck to work today. So I have a bunch of shit in there. I tell you to try, hook the battery cables up, your car, her car, your car's running, rev it up to about 2,000 RPM.
There we go.
For about 2 minutes solid. And what it'll do is it'll push up to about 15 volts into her battery. And then that.
We gotta wait for this guy to come down.
The car's not taking the correct jump. Alright, man, no problem. Need help, call me.
X. Which one's up? So this is the confusing part about it. All right, well, that gives you an idea. So, does this thing work? Yes, it does. So let's talk about the buttons and where they're at and what you can't do. So the buttons are what the buttons are. I'm not a PC player, so I don't know where the stuff usually is. I have lots of buttons on my mouse that are not being utilized. So the only thing that's getting used on the mouse are the two on the top. Everything else is on the keyboard. I'm not a big fan of that. On top of that, they are all right here, but obviously you've got the left, right, up and down, and then all your buttons are kind of around here, and then your D-pad is up here. So playing games like Apex, it's very confusing. I grew up with one of these in my hand, and I don't even have to think about it now. I grab the controller and I play because this is what's programmed in here. I would imagine that if you played on this the same, that this is what would be programmed in here. But for me, it is not. To me, it feels very unnatural. I don't know how else to put it. I know that a lot of people practice for a long time and they get really good at it. I'm not going to be one of those people, which brings me to kind of the controversy. So Microsoft, I'm just going to use Microsoft for this, let you put in your mouse and keyboard into the system, but they don't let you use it for all the games. Why? Because of people like myself who don't play on keyboard. It would make it easy for a PC player to come over to console and absolutely just demolish everybody. That's the big question. Is this cheating? I mean, it's a third-party device that you're using to manipulate a keyboard and a controller for it to work. In my opinion, it is. If the manufacturers of the games want you to use mouse and keyboard, all they have to do is enable it at this point. Before, there was kind of a gray area. Okay, well, the console didn't have mouse and keyboard support on it, but now it does. So if Apex doesn't want me to use mouse and keyboard, you shouldn't use mouse and keyboard unless you're on PC. So yes. Now, as for the product itself, this was fairly inexpensive. I think it was like $25 or $29. It was pretty inexpensive. I got it off of Amazon. There is some other options out there that are a lot more expensive, anywhere from $150 to $500 to convert. But $29, this works. The bad parts about it, you cannot move any of the buttons. They are what they are. If you don't like where the button is, too bad. That's what it is. Now you can use the settings inside to change, map the buttons to swap, but like I was saying before, I want to use these buttons on my mouse. I can't do it. I'd rather have more buttons on my mouse than I would on the keyboard, but that's not a possibility with this game or with this system. So, with Retro Reboot, I'm Dan. See ya.